Good morning, Your Honor. This is Rafael Barrera, State Certified Court Interpreter. I have been previously sworn.
Good morning, Mr. Barrera. Can I have somebody turn my TV on down here by any chance? Is this the remote for the TV down here? Mr. Barrera, this is Judge Bain calling from the BRC. Yes, sir. I have a defendant with the, some defendants I need your help with this morning. They're putting the headsets on, see if we can make the connection.
Yes, Your Honor. Allow me just a moment to connect, please. Your Honor, the interpreter can confirm the defendant is able to hear through the headsets.
Okay. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Villafañe Fernández. José Luis Villafañe Fernández.
José Luis Villafuente Fernández.
Mr. Fuerte Fernandez, you are here this morning in case 2021 CF 6988AO on charge of aggravated battery on a pregnant person and domestic violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. State, can you tell me about this other DV case with an unknown victim?
We got you.
Thank you, sir. You're before the court at this time for an arraignment for an alleged violation of probation. An attorney from the public defender's office is present to enter a plea on your behalf.
I have a 21 misdemeanor non-arrest battery. Victim being Miss Hanley. I also have a 2016 misdemeanor battery. And the victim in that one being Miss Maria Salgado Pabon.
Okay. All right, sir, I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $15,000. Condition of your bond is you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return to the shared residence to retrieve any personal items with law enforcement. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Have a great day, sir.
I don't know, do you want to reset it for out of jail or just do a waiver and do them quickly? I'll waive his appearance and enter a denial.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Luis Candelaria.
Luis Candelaria.
Mr. Cagliario, you're here this morning in 2021 MM4055AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision, but you have no contact with the victim in this case. I need you to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release.
I'll waive her appearance and enter a denial.
I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. Have a great day, sir. morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Oscar Cortez Torres.
Mr. Cortez Torres, you are here this morning in case 2019 CT 2467AW for a failure to appear warrant. The judge signing your warrant in this case has set your bond in the amount of $1,500. Your bond remains set at that amount. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case if you're not already appointed. You have a great day, sir.
Una pregunta de los 1,500 los puedo pagar de un solo o el 10%.
So the 1,500, do I have to pay the whole thing or I only pay 10%?
That's your choice. You have to work that out with the bondsman.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir, that's all we have to do. Yes, sir?
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Nurbin Orbeli Rosa Monroy.
Clarification, Your Honor.
Nurbin Orbeli Rosa Monroy.
Norbin Orbeni Rosa Monroy.
Ms. Rosa Monroy, you're here to in two cases. The first one is being 2021 CT 4260 AO on charge of driving under the influence of property damage or personal injury. You're also here in case 2021 CT 4262 AO on charge of no valid driver's license. I reviewed the charging affidavit in these cases, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in both of these cases. Conditions of your pretrial release. 1, do not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. 2, you may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You be subject to random drug and alcohol testing while you're at your expense while you're on pretrial release in both of these cases. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, so you have an attorney. You have a great day, ma'am.
Gracias.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Dariagna Colina Silva.
Clarification.
Colina Silva.
Dariana Colina Silva.
Ms. Colina Silva, you are here this morning in case 2021 MM 4049 AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case and did find probable cause for your arrest. I want to set your bond in this case amount $250. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You need to have no contact with the victim in this case. You do not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You must maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, ma'am. You have a great day. That's the last one.
That's it, Your Honor, with the interpreters.
Thank you, Mr. Interpreter. That's my last case. Have a great day.
You as well, Your Honor. Have a good morning.
Plea of denial to enter. Defendant will testify.
Still.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
My name is William Frank Cesare, Your Honor.
Sir, you're here this morning for arraignment in case 2021. Do you need the hearing devices, or are you going to be able to hear me okay?
Good night, couldn't hear you.
I have a hearing device if you need that to assist you. I see you leaning forward.
Yeah. Can't hear that good. I'm 69, almost 70 years old. I don't hear that good.
Good morning, sir. Can you hear me better?
Yes, thank you.
Sir, you're here for arraignment this morning in case 2021 MM 3943AO for charge of exposure of sexual organs. That is a first-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. You're represented by the Public Defender's Office. Was there an offer conveyed on Mr. Chrissy?
Not at this time, Your Honor.
We'll enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Guilty, Your Honor.
Well, there's no plea offer from the state of Florida, so I don't want you to plead guilty when you don't know you don't have a negotiated resolution, or you're not understanding that you're making an open plea to the court. So I want to set you for pretrial in this case in Division 84.
I want to plead guilty if it's all right.
You're,
It's not, you're still not going to get out today. So even if you wanted to plead guilty, I still have to,
No, I just want to plead guilty.
yeah. So we can get you in front of your division judge, because I'm just the judge doing your arraignment. I'm not the judge assigned to your case. So we're going to get you in front of that judge, all right? We'll set you for Division 84.
Division 84, pretrial conference is July 12th, 9 a.m., courtroom 4B.
I need you to work with the public defenders in your courtroom and probably get you in front of that judge sooner so you can get the case resolved, okay?
Yeah, but I'd really rather decide it now if it's all right, Your Honor.
I can't decide it now because there seems to be a victim involved in the case. So I need to,
No.
I don't know anything about your case. And right now, I don't have the opportunity to really have a full discussion with you, okay?
Sure.
So I wanted you to get the opportunity to have that full due process, and I'm not going to be able to give you that today because I don't have the time. All right? So have a great day.
Thank you.
You have next, Your Honor?
I have a
Williams.
Williams Flax, yes.
He's medical, Your Honor.
All right, this is case 2021 MO 581AO. Mr. Williams Flax was here on a arraignment for disorderly conduct charge. He's represented by the Public Defender's Office.
I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, 7 for Division 83.
Division 83, pretrial conference July 12th, 9 a.m., courtroom 6B.
All right. Next person I have is
Gafford
Gafford.
James.
Yes.
He's mental health, Your Honor.
All right. Does anybody know why this case has just been continually rolled since Friday?
Is this James Gafford?
Yes.
It just says he was.
Your Honor, all I have is that he was unable to attend, so I'm unsure.
Well, it said mental health on my thing, but it seemed that possibly he was supposed to be seen on Friday and he's enrolled. But I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent him in both his cases.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right. In 2019 CF 4611AO, it's a violation of community control. The court, based on the on-view violation of probation, the court does find that his probable cause for his violation of probation is going to set his bond at none. In 2021 CF 6891AO, say, what do you ask me to do, ask Mr. Gafford?
Your Honor, as it is a first-degree murder case, it is punishable by life offense. State is asking that you hold him no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
And Ms. George.
No argument. We reserve the right to have an Arthur hearing.
At this time, we're going to hold him at no bond in this case. Condition of his bond, he may not have any contact with the victim's family or any other witnesses in this case. He may not possess any weapons or firearms. Weapons or firearms he has need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of his release. If he ever is released in this case, on pretrial release, I'm going to make a condition of his bond. He has 48 hours to report to the Orange County Sheriff's Office as a violent sexual predator or sexual offender, and that he be re-equipped with his GPS device as soon as possible. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Eddie Mathis.
Mr. Mathis, you are here this morning in 2021 CF 6800AO on charges of battery, domestic violence by strangulation, battery one prior domestic violence, and tampering with a witness. I reviewed the affidavit in this case. It did find probable cause for your arrest. Can somebody tell me if this prior battery, anybody know it was the same victim?
I have a 2012 battery by strangulation. The victim was Miss Haynes. I have a 2020 non-arrest misdemeanor bat DV. The battery, or the victim being Miss Odom.
Okay.
I have a 2012 misdemeanor non-arrest battery DV. Victim being Miss Haynes. I have a 2012 non-arrest battery by strangulation, bat DV. Victim being Miss Haynes. There is a 2012 misdemeanor non-arrest bat DV. Battery, or victim being Miss Haynes. A 2010 misdemeanor non-arrest battery. Victim being Miss Haynes. 3 2011 misdemeanor battery DVs. I believe the victim of all those also being Miss Haynes. And then a 2009 misdemeanor battery. Victim being Miss Haynes. And I believe that's it, Your Honor.
Mr. Mathis, in this case, in count one, in this case, going to set your bond in the amount of $10,000. Count two, in the amount of $2,500. Count three, $500. Condition of your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return if you have a shared residence with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. You have a great day.
Oh, there's a Vicky.
If she doesn't want to speak, then she doesn't have to speak. Good morning, ma'am. Did you want to talk to me this morning?
I was called to come up here for the case.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
But I didn't, you don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. It's just, you have the right to be present. You have the right to be heard if you want to be heard. But I figured that you just wanted to just be here since you didn't want to step, you didn't step up earlier. So I want to make sure, what do you want to, is anything, hold on. They tell me your name and spell your last name.
It's Jessica Odom, and it's Odom.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help me God.
Yes, sir.
All right, is there anything you wanted to tell me about Mr. Mathis's release conditions?
No, sir. I have no problem with his release conditions. I have no problem with it. I don't fear of him, but I have no problem with the release conditions.
Okay, all right. All right, ma'am, have a great day.
You too.
Yeah, that was it. I mean,
Next on the list is McCall
Yes, sir.
Nadine. She refused court.
all right, this case 2021 MM 3976AO. Ms. McCall, I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent her.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
I'll release her on mental health pretrial release if she qualifies. If she doesn't qualify, I'll set her bond in an amount of $100. Condition her bond, no return to the scene of the location. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Hey, Rodriguez Maldonado.
Mr. Rodriguez Maldonado, you are here in case 2021 MM 4036AO on a charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. I want to set your bond in this case in the amount of $50,000. Condition your bond will be pretrial release in this case. You may not have any contact with this victim. You may not return to the scene of the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, I'm sorry, did you say 50?
Yes, ma'am.
Your Honor, I would ask that you consider reducing it if you're gonna place him on pretrial release as well.
Oh, let's review the facts of this case.
Your Honor,
Don't talk about the facts. I was just asking.
The affidavit, the alleged affidavit facts of this case, where I believe that items in this, or for this victim were thrown onto the roof. She went to the roof to retrieve those items. He then grabbed her, slammed her on the ground, dragged her to the edge roof, and then kicked her off.
I understand, Your Honor. I was just looking at based on his criminal
speak?
history, Your Honor. Do not talk.
Don't talk, I mean, you talk to me, like, that's, everything you tell me is on the record. There's a prosecutor sitting over there that can use that against you at a later date. And that's outside of the prior history of domestic violence that's in his record, I can see.
There's also been protection orders from the same victim, Your Honor.
Right. No return. That's why I said that, no return. No striking, no maintain, no return, no contact. Don't violate my orders. If you see I have a problem doing that, don't violate my orders.
sorry?
Do not violate my orders. You understand that?
I wasn't gonna violate the orders. I was just explaining to the public defender that that's my residence. She doesn't live there. We have on her ID is a separate address. So I kind of need to return back to my residence. If not, I'm gonna lose my place. Pretty much DCF already got in contact with me, so I need to have a roof over my kids' heads and things like that. So I was just explaining to her that that's my residence, so I need to return back to that residence when I'm able to be released. That's all I was
All
saying.
right. Pretrial. If you can confirm that the victim is not at that residence, I'll consider modifying that condition before he's released. But until that happens, you're not able to confirm that. I don't want you going back. I understand you telling me that, but I need to confirm that she's not there, all right?
She has no key, so she can't get into the house.
Your Honor, did you give
again.
him a one-time return with law enforcement?
Once again, I didn't know. I did not. So I'm telling pretrial release right now. You guys meet with them and talk to them. If they're able to confirm that victim is not there, then you can return. If not, then you can't go back.
Your Honor, I would ask for, all of his belongings are there. I would ask for a one-time return, at least with the police officers present, so that he, if she is there, he can at least grab his belongings. He has nothing, Your Honor.
If PTR is able to confirm that the victim is not there, then I will modify my order to allow you to return, to maintain a separate residence, return one time with law enforcement. But until that happens, I'm not going to do that. Have a great day. Good morning.
Deborah Thomas, she refused court.
All right, this is Thomas, 2021 MM 3970AO, charged trespass. I want to appoint the public defender to represent her. I think Judge Bronson was trying to put her on pretrial, like mental health pretrial release.
Judge Bigney, we're still in the process of trying to figure out if she could be qualified for mental health PTR. They're saying that she cannot be assessed at the time due to her behavior.
Okay.
So do you want to just go ahead and give her a bond as well, Your Honor?
Well,
Because she doesn't have a
I've
bond
got
at
a
the
question. I
moment.
guess my question is, because this is Judge Bronson, that I see I have a order signed by him, but did anybody tell him that she could assign her a bond on an
No,
alternative?
it was Judge Bigney. Judge Bigney wanted her to be placed on mental health PTR, but she did not give her a bond. That's why she wanted her to be reset for today.
Okay.
If she did not qualify for mental health PTR, to be given a bond.
All right, I'll do my normal thing. If, I'll put on mental health pretrial release. If she does not qualify, I'm going to set her bond amount of $100, no return to the scene or location.
Your Honor, can we skip Mr. Goins and go on to Lewis?
Yes, sir.
Come on up.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Walensky Lewis.
Mr. Lewis, you're here in case 2021 CF 7001 AO on charge of aggravated assault for the firearm, domestic violence, battery, domestic violence, and possession of firearm by convicted felon. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, it did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you
Morning.
tell me your name and spell your last name?
Luciana Simon, Simon.
What's your first name?
Luciana.
All right. Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
You put your hand down, ma'am. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Lewis?
that's my fiance.
You're saying?
My fiance.
And do you want to have contact with Mr. Lewis while this case is pending?
Yes, but also, he didn't have the gun in his possession when they got there.
Yeah, he's not being charged with having his possession when they got there.
No, because they didn't even tell me, and they didn't tell me that he was getting arrested or anything.
Okay. But, all right, so
And
are you,
I-
wait, let's answer my question first. Are you afraid of Mr. Lewis?
No,
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
no,
Has there been previous instances of domestic violence between you two in the past?
no.
All right. I want to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Lewis. State, do you have any questions for the victim?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Lewis, I'm going to set your bond to count one, an amount of $2,000, count two, $500, count three, $1,000. Condition your bond pretrial release in this case. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim in this case. You must maintain a separate residence from the victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You have a great day, sir. Have a great day, ma'am.
Those are my boys. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
We have Mr. Goins.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jasmine Gowans.
Mr. Gowans, you are here in case 2021 CF 6989AO on charge of aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence, and aggravated assault with a firearm and battery. The court did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent Mr. Gowans. Ms. George, can you find out if Mr. Gowans is receiving any mental health treatment at this time? And where?
No, he does not.
All right, Mr. Gowans, in this case, I'm going to set your bond account one amount of $2,000, count two, $2,000, count three, $1,000. Condition your bond that you had no contact with the victims in this case. You maintain a separate residence from these victims. I'll give you a one-time return if there is any property left at that location where this incident happened. With law enforcement to retrieve that personal property. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. If you are released on the condition of your release that you have 24 hours to report to Advent, you have 1 business day to report to Advent Health Services for evaluation. You keep up with all your appointments. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol. Any drugs or alcohol so you may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Must take all mental health medications that are prescribed to you in the dosage that is prescribed. Have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
John Sanchez, sir.
Mr. Sanchez, you're here in case 2021 CF 6982AO on charge of battery, one prior battery conviction, domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case amount of $2,500. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Do you have any questions about the no contact order, sir?
No, sir.
Have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Morning, sir. Tyrone Bowie.
Mr. Bowie, here in case 2021 MM116AE on charge of battery dating violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return if you have a shared residence with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. You have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Donald Craddock.
This is Kyle Perry. Is it Caladegi? Say your last name again?
James Donald Craddock. Craddock. C-R-A-D.
Craddock. All right, Mr. Craddock, you are here in 2021 MM40478AO on charge of assault, dating violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond that you had no contact with the victim in this case, or that you not return to the scene of the location, or that you not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. You have a great day.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
I'm Jose Gamboa, sir.
Say, is it Gamboa?
Yes, Gamboa, sir.
Oh, so was it Gamboa?
Gamboa, yes.
Gamboa, okay. Mr. Gamboa, you are here this morning in case 2021 MM40588AO on charges of battery, domestic violence, and criminal mischief. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
All right, yeah, I'm the main attraction here in this courtroom, so I need everybody to keep their eyes on me. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Andrea Quintero.
All right, ma'am, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this case is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
You put your hand down. Can you spell your last name for me for a second?
Quintero.
All right. All right, man, can you tell me how you know Mr. Gamboa?
Sorry, sir.
Can you tell me how you know Mr. Gamboa?
He's my ex-boyfriend.
All right. And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Sorry, sir, can you?
Do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
I understand you. Sorry, sir. My English is not really. I
One
need a
moment.
translator.
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Theodore Leal, Spanish interpreter. The interpreter has been previously sworn, Your Honor.
Good morning, Mr. Laurel. I have a victim that I need your assistance with here at the BRC. So if you can stay on the overhead for me, that would be greatly appreciated.
Very well, Your Honor.
All right. Ma'am, can you tell me your name again and spell your last name?
Señora, si es tan amable, me da su nombre de nuevo y me deletrea el apellido letra por letra, por favor.
Ok, Andrea Quintero, Quintero.
Andrea Quintero, Quintero.
All right. Ma'am, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in?
Señora, ¿puede levantar mano derecha para que preste juramento?
Sí.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Juro y promete que el testimonio que usted entregará en esta causa será la verdad, toda la verdad y nada más que la verdad con ayuda de Dios.
Sí.
Yes. Yes.
All right, ma'am, you can put your hand down. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Gamboa?
Señora, ¿me puede decir cómo es que usted conoce al señor Gamboa?
Él es mi ex esposo, el papá de mi hija.
He's my ex-husband, my daughter's father.
Do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Mientras este caso está en curso, ¿usted desea tener contacto con él?
¿A qué se refiere contacto? ¿Cómo?
What are you referring to in regards to contact? How about that?
Do you want to speak with him? Do you want to see him face to face? Do you want him to be able to send you messages via social media, text message, any form of contact where he's communicating with you?
Sí, o sea, hablar con usted, verla cara a cara, enviarle mensajes por las redes sociales, mensajería de texto, algún tipo de contacto con usted.
Sí, está bien.
Yes, it's fine.
Do you have a parenting plan, or is he on child support?
¿Ustedes tienen un plan de crianza o tienen algún arreglo de manutención de la menor?
No.
No.
Were you ever legally married?
¿En algún momento ustedes estuvieron legalmente casados?
No.
No.
Did he sign the birth certificate for this child?
¿Y él aparece en el acta de nacimiento de la menor?
Sí.
Yes.
Has there been any prior instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
En el pasado ha habido incidentes de violencia intrafamiliar entre ustedes en el pasado.
Hemos tenido problemas, sí. Nada grave.
We have issues, nothing serious.
What is your definition of issues?
Bueno, cuando habla de problemas, ¿a qué se está refiriendo en su punto de vista? ¿Qué tipo de problema?
Ay, gritos, insultos.
Yelling, insults.
Okay. Has there been anything physical before?
¿Antes ha habido algo que se llegue a las manos?
Un par de veces, sí.
A couple of times, yes.
All right. Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this particular instance?
Ahora, en este incidente en particular, ¿estuvo de por medio el alcohol o alguna otra sustancia enervante?
Alcohol, sí.
Alcohol, yes.
All right. Mr. Gamboa, I'm going to set your bond in this case in count one in amount of $1,000, count two, $250. Condition your bond be subject to pretrial release in this case. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim in this case. You must maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return. There's some items at her home. It's a shared residence. To retrieve those items with law enforcement. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to make a condition that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Going to Make a condition that you be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense.
Lo que voy a hacer es que voy a ponerle la fianza de $1,000 en el primer cargo y en el segundo cargo de $250. Le va a conceder lo que es la libertad provisional. Le voy a prohibir el contacto con la víctima. Tendrá que mantenerse en residencias por separado. Se le permitirá volver una vez a recoger efectos personales, si acaso tienen cosas en una vivienda en común, en compañía de la fuerza pública. No se le permite el uso o porte de armas. Si tiene armas, tiene que entregarlas en 24 tienen que entregar las armas en 24 horas. Se le prohíbe el alcohol, se le prohíben drogas, a menos que tenga alguna receta médica, y se le van a hacer exámenes al azar para ver si hay contenido de drogas en su cuerpo.
Ma'am, with this child, does he provide financial support for this child?
Señora, la menor que ustedes tienen, ¿él le da ayuda económica a usted?
Sí.
Yes.
How does he do that? Do you have a bank account where he deposits the money?
¿Y cómo hace eso? ¿Él tiene una cuenta bancaria en común donde depositan el dinero?
No, yo cuando necesito algo, pues le dejo saber y él me da lo que necesito para mi hija.
No, whenever I need something, I let him know and he gives me what's necessary for my daughter.
All right, Mr. Gamble, I'm going to make it also condition of your bond and pretrial release that you still maintain financial support for this child. Do you understand that?
Y también como condición de su libertad provisional, señor Gamboa, voy a añadir que usted siga dando ayuda económica para esta menor. ¿Entiende?
There's a standard amount of money that she requires every month or every so month, however you guys been working this out. Since you don't have a parenting plan in place, you need to continue to send that money.
Yeah, sure. Can I say something?
That's the only contact I'm gonna allow.
Can I say something, sir?
Let me talk to him. Have you talk to your lawyer first. That's the only contact I'm gonna allow. Outside of that, no contact. Go ahead,
Así que no voy a
George.
permitir contacto, pero sí voy a permitir contacto únicamente para que sigan adelante con el proceso que tienen para la ayuda económica, como sea que lo tengan ustedes ya planificado, porque no existe un plan de pagos e impuestos por ningún organismo.
Okay.
Mr. Gonzalez, your attorney tells me you wish to plead guilty. What's the time, sir? Thank you. You wish to plead guilty to the felony of petty theft, having 2 prior theft convictions, and resolve your case today to an agreed recommended sentence that I'm willing to go along with. Is that what you wish to do? Yes. Has anybody forced you or threatened you, Mr. Gonzalez, to enter this?
By the way, this is kind of...
Your Honor,
Yes, ma'am.
would you be inclined to at least reduce the first bond amount? He doesn't have any criminal history, and it's a little high for him. He does qualify for pretrial release, so I would ask that you consider.
Since the victim's here, I'll reduce it to $750.
Se va a hacer la reducción de la fianza porque estaba muy alta, se lo va a reducir a 750 ya que no tenía ningún tipo de historial de antecedentes y además que ya se le concedió la libertad provisional.
Shit, that we work together. She's my friend. We don't have trouble. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Sir, excuse me. I've been trying to communicate with my family to help me pay the bond because, of course, I can pay it. But I couldn't contact nobody. And because I came here without phone, without wallet, so I'm clueless how to pay my bond and go out because I got work.
Two people to help you in that situation. You got the public defender's office, two groups of people. The public defender's office, they were attorneys at this point. They can help you, aid you in doing that. I also put you on pretrial release service. The people at pretrial release services also going to aid you in making sure they're helping you do that. So you got 2 groups of people to help you contact people from outside to make sure that you can get your whatever affairs are in order,
There's
post your
somebody
bond.
that can communicate with my family to help me in this
I
situation.
just, listen,
His hair search-
what did I just say? Did you listen to, like, so I said you have two groups of people. You have a phone number on that green sheet of paper that you should call. And you'll reach Ms. George, or you reach another attorney to help you, aid you in contacting your family. You'll also have pretrial release services, or the people downstairs that are gonna meet with you before your release to help you do that as well.
Oh, awesome.
Va a tener dos grupos de personas que lo van a ayudar. No sé si es que no me entendió, no me escuchó, pero están los abogados de la Defensoría Pública, están los delegados del Departamento de Libertad Provisional que se le acaba de conceder. Estos son dos grupos de personas que muy bien pueden ayudarlo a que contacte a sus familiares para que pueda pagar su fianza.
Thank you very much.
Gracias.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Turbett. I think that was it. Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you.
Gracias, señora, que tenga buen día.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Graham, you're here this morning in case 2021 MM4056AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Ma'am, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Ernestia Mack, M-A-C-K.
You gotta speak up, you gotta step up a little bit there. Say it again.
Ernestia Mack, M-A-C-K.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're gonna give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes,
Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Graham?
it's my baby father.
I can't hear you.
It's my kid's father.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes,
Are you afraid of him?
no,
Has there been prior instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
yeah, like 5 years ago.
Are these children, you said, is it one child or more than one child?
We have 3 kids.
And is he on child support, or do you guys have a
No.
parenting plan in place?
No, we just raise our kids.
Did he sign a birth certificate for all 3 of those children?
Yes,
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
no,
Say, you got any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Graham, I'm going to set your bond in this case amount of $1,500. It's going to cover pretrial release supervision. You had no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Ms. Mack, how does you all have a shared bank account where you all pay bills out of?
no. But I just was gonna ask for like the living thing. It's his house, so how does that work?
I don't know, are you there living with the children? Or do you have
Yeah,
a separate house you live at?
no, it's his house.
Yes, but
I
do you
just
live,
like come there with my children. That's what
Okay.
I'm saying.
so you have a separate house where you live?
Yes.
Then you go to your separate house and then he goes to his house. That's how it works.
Okay.
So if you have a shared house,
Hmm?
like where you guys live together, then he can't live there with you.
Okay.
All right? So you go home, he goes home. That's how it works. All right? So same questions. All right, so is he providing financial support for these children?
Yes.
How is he doing that?
He works.
Well, no, how does he get the money to you? Or does he just, send you diapers, send you,
He buys stuff for them.
just buy stuff for them?
Yeah.
How often? Is it like a regular basis or like kind of
Every
whenever?
day.
Every day?
Yes.
Like what?
Like, what do you mean, like what?
How old are your children?
6, 5, and 4.
All right, so 6, 5, and 4. Usually they need food, juice, water, clothing when they need it. They're they're out of school, so things to keep them entertained during that time. So are they in day camp, summer camp?
They go to daycare during the day, and then they come home.
All right, so how's the daycare bill get paid?
He pays it.
He pays it? All right. Mr. Graham, in condition of your pretrial release and bond in this case, you continue to provide those same financial supports that you've been doing for those children. You understand that? So you keep paying the daycare bill, keep getting whatever they need, so to make sure they have what they need. You understand that?
Can I say so?
You can talk to Ms. George. Everything you tell me is on the record.
Can I see my kid?
Well, the issue with the situation is that since you all don't have a parenting plan in place, which is, you know, the law is designed for people to be married and have children, but you have children outside of marriage, then there's no parenting plan put in place by a judge, it limits your rights as to what's going on. So right now, probably not until you can get in front of the division judge and you can find a way to provide a third party or somebody else that can help, you know, facilitate that situation. All right?
I would ask if he's gonna support them, as long as they have a third party to drop off the kids to, that he at least be allowed to see the children.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you can file a bond motion, modify that. I don't have time to take that kind of hearing where I need to know where the kids are being dropping off, times, like how long you're gonna spend creating pretty much a parenting plan, which is what I'll be doing. So I don't have time to do that today. So I'll get you in front of your division judge so you can get that full opportunity to have all that information given to that judge. All right?
Just to be clear, you're allowing contact for the purposes of supporting the child?
Yes. So make sure they're not getting in trouble. So if he has, that's what I'm saying. Wherever the kids go to daycare, he knows where that is. Go there, write a check. Or just wipe your card or however you got to do it. Yes, ma'am.
I was told if I come here that he was gonna be able to come back home.
I don't know who told you that, but they lied to you.
So, okay.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Barrington Augustus Hay Jr.
Mr. Hay, you're here in case 2021 MM4046AO on charge of battery dating violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, found probable cause for battery. Wasn't enough information for me to tell whether they were, was dating violence underneath what its definition of the law.
Understood, Your Honor.
So in that case, the court's going to set your bond in this matter amount of $2,000. Condition your bond had no contact with the victim in this case, no return to the scene of the location, may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be determined with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. May not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're out on bond in case 2021 CF 366AO. And in that case, that's a probable cause being determined that you've violated the law while you're out on release in that case. The court's going to revoke that bond. We're going to set a new bond at $0 in that case. We're going to appoint the public defender to represent you in all cases. If not already appointed, you have a great day, sir.
So that means I have no, does that mean I have no bond?
As to your old case, no. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
My name is Khadijah Miller.
Ms. Miller, you're here in case 2021 MM4045AO on charge of battery dating violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Good morning, Raheem Hamrick, Hamrick.
Can you raise your right hand and be sworn in, sir? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You put your hand down. Can you tell me how you know Miss Miller?
She's my partner.
And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes, I would love contact.
Has there been prior instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
No.
Are you afraid of her?
No.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
Alcohol, slightly.
All right. And are you both from South Carolina? Did I read that
Yes.
correctly? I guess she doesn't qualify for pretrial release.
Ms. Phillips, would you announce who you are, please? And Mr. McGinn? Mike McGinn on behalf of the defendant, Ms. Nelson. Okay, and does that appear to be Ms. Nelson? Yes.
All right, Mr. Hendry, if something like this were to happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Mr. Hamrick, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Do you feel comfortable if something like this happened in the future to contact law enforcement?
Certainly.
You could qualify, Your Honor.
Ms. Miller, I'm going to set your bond in this case in an amount of $500 is going to come with pretrial release supervision. One, I'm going to allow you to return to South Carolina. However, if you violate my orders in this case, you're going to be arrested. They're going to put you on a little bus and send you back to Florida. Do you understand that? I can't hear you.
Yes.
Condition of your bond is you may not have any hostile contact with the victim in this case. You understand that?
Yes.
No hostile contact means this. You're allowed to be upset with him. If he leaves the toilet seat up, makes a mess he doesn't clean up, doesn't treat you in a way that you feel like you should be treated. However, those disagreements cannot turn violent. They cannot turn threatening. They cannot come to the point where either he's going to call law enforcement or somebody that sees or hears you all arguing is going to call law enforcement. Because if that happens, you're going to be arrested. You're going to be put on that little bus and sent back to Florida. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. You understand that?
Yes.
Have a great day, man. South Carolina. Yes, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Neftalio Ocasio.
Mr. Ocasio, you're here in case 2021 MM 4065AO on a charge of violation of pretrial release conditions. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case. They find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $50,000. Condition on your bond that you not have any contact with the victim in this case. No return to the scene of the location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're out on some kind of pretrial diversion, maybe in 2021 MM 1576AO. You're out on bond in case 2021 CF 5207AO. Both those cases going to revoke those bonds or releases on those cases. We'll set new bonds in those cases at $0. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this new matter. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Justin Paramore.
Mr. Paramore, you're here in case 2021 MM 4059AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. They find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $500. Condition on your bond that you have going to be pretrial release in this case. You have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you may have at a shared residence. Do you have anything at this hotel room?
At the hotel room, they're holding my bags right now and
Right.
they're safe, but we do live together in Jacksonville.
All right. But
At one time to get my stuff out.
Yes, sir.
Of our current residence.
Yes, sir. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be determined by law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. When appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Anwanti Rafi.
Ma'am, you are here in case 2021 MM 4050AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Sir, can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Good morning, sir. Faraz Raffic, R-A-F-F-I-C-K.
All right. And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right. Can you tell me how you know Ms. Raffic?
Is my wife, sir.
And do you want to have contact with her while this case is pending?
Yes, sir.
Has anything like this happened in the past?
No.
If something like this would happen in the future, do you feel comfortable contacting law enforcement?
Yes, sir.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this incident?
No, sir.
State, you have any questions for the witness?
No, Your Honor.
And Ms. George?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Raffic, in this case, I'm going to set your bond the amount of $500. Conditioning your bond will be pretrial release conditions. It's very simple. You don't have no hostile contact with your husband. No hostile contact means this. Obviously, no violence, nothing physical, but also includes no threats, no threatening language, no abusive language. Because if your husband calls law enforcement, like in this case, somebody sees or hears you all arguing and calls law enforcement, you're going to be arrested. You're going to spend the remaining of your time here with me at the Orange County Jail. Do you understand that? I can't hear you. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, sir, ma'am.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Destiny Ramirez.
Ms. Ramirez, you're here in case 2021 MM 237AA on charge of battery domestic violence. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $500 is going to come with pretrial release supervision. That you have no contact with the victim in this case. That you maintain a separate residence from these victims. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement if you have a shared residence to pick up any personal items you have at that location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be determined by law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case, ma'am. You have a great day. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Alexander Spratt, Your Honor.
Mr. Spratt, you're here in case 2021 MM 4054AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Ryan Leo, L-E-O.
And can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Put your hand down, ma'am. Can you tell me how you know Mr. Spratt?
He's my boyfriend.
And do you want to have contact with your boyfriend while this case is pending?
Yes, sir, I would love to.
Are you afraid of him?
No, sir.
Has there been any prior instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
No, sir.
Did drugs or alcohol play a role in this particular instance?
No, sir.
Madam Clerk, I will, based upon the report filed by Dr. McLean, MCCLIN.
Mr. Pratt, in this case, the court's going to set your bond in the amount of $500. It's going to come with pretrial release supervision. You had no contact with the victim in this case. You are to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at a location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. You have a great day.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Where can I go to pay his release of $500?
Downstairs.
Downstairs? Is he
Yes,
going to be able to be released today?
Yep, you should, unless he picks up another case on the way out of here.
Okay, thank you.
All right, have a great day. We still have no contact, ma'am. No contact. 'Cause if he violates my orders, he's gonna be sitting here for quite a minute. Understand that? Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Samantha Stewart.
Ms. Stewart, you're here in case 2021 MM4051AO on charge of battery domestic violence. Did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $1,500. Condition of your bond that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at this location. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You may not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. You're out on release or bond in cases 2021 MM2657AO, 2021 CF4502AO. Court finding probable cause that you have violated your release conditions in those cases. The court's going to revoke those bonds. Set new bonds at $0 in those cases.
Can you reinstate those for me?
No, ma'am. From what I'm looking at, you were just released from the prison on January 7th of 2021.
Yes, sir.
Since then, now this is the third time we've seen you. So no, ma'am. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You were the public defender, correct, on all our cases? Public defender on the new case? Thank you. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Tyrell?
Mr. Tyrell, you're here in case 2021 MM117AE on charge of battery. Court did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case. Condition of your pretrial release that you have no contact with the victim in this case. You maintain a separate residence from this victim. I'll give you a one-time return with law enforcement to retrieve any personal items you have at that shared residence. You may not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. Have a great day.
Brenda Chikansky on behalf of Mr. Royal. He is present at the BRC, Judge.
On his possession of utility case?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, you Mr. Royal? Good morning. I'm doing fine, thank you. Would you raise your right hand so I can get your name and oath for me? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but...
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Corey Williams.
Mr. Williams, you're here in case 2021 MM4048AO on charge of battery domestic violence. I did review the charging affidavit in this case. I did find probable cause for your arrest. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name and spell your last name?
Gabrielle Baker, Baker.
And can you best you can, raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, can you tell me how you know Mr. Williams?
He's my boyfriend and child's father.
And do you want to have contact with him while this case is pending?
Yes, sir.
Has there been any prior instances of domestic violence between you all in the past?
No, sir.
Has anybody promised you anything different than what Ms. Shikansky just said to get you to enter this plea? Are you satisfied with her work in this case? Has anybody forced you or threatened you to get you to enter this plea? Are you doing this then of your own free will?
Did drugs and alcohol play a role in this incident?
No, sir.
Do you suffer from or have you ever been diagnosed with any mental illness? Do you have a 4-page plea form in front of you? I presume, but I must ask you, do you read and understand the English language? The plea form, thank you, sir. The plea form is written in English. It lists all the rights you have and all the rights you give up when you enter a plea. Did you understand those rights?
All right, Mr. Williams, in this case, I'm going to set your bond amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond.
I'm going to ask your attorney for purposes of a plea, will you stipulate there exists a factual basis?
That you have no contact with the victim in this case. You need to maintain a separate residence from this victim. I give you a one-time return with law enforcement to any shared residence that you may have to retrieve your personal items. You do not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. And ma'am, is he on child support for this child?
No, sir.
Can't hear you.
No, sir.
Did he sign their birth certificate for this child?
Yes, sir.
On my information says he's unemployed, so does he provide any financial support for this child right now?
Yes, sir. He's not, he works. He does, he works.
Okay. Do you guys have a shared account where you guys pay bills out of?
No, sir. And I have a question also.
Yes, ma'am.
We're traveling from Alabama.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, we rode down here together.
Yep.
So is it, we rode from Alabama together.
Yes, ma'am.
So, I mean, he don't have any transportation back.
They have the Greyhound bus.
Huh?
They have a Greyhound that goes to Alabama. I've ridden it myself.
Okay.
All the way to Tuskegee. So he can get back home if he needs to. Step two, he's out on bond or some kind of charges in Alabama. Raises my concern about why he's here.
Okay. They didn't say anything. Okay.
Say again?
Nothing.
All right. All right, sir, I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. Have a great day, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Jasmira Ortiz.
Ms. Ortiz, you were here in 2021 CF 4259AO on charge of driver license suspended. Viewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for her arrest. Is there an offer that we can discuss with her?
Yes, Your Honor, the offer conveyed was a withhold, credit time served, and a $100 fine.
Your Honor, we would ask for pretrial in this case.
Okay. All right, Ms. Ortiz, I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this matter. Condition of your pretrial release, you're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You understand? I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. Have a great day, ma'am.
Yes, thank you.
Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name? Mr. Strickland, you're here in case 2021 CT 733AW on a failure to appear on charge of driver under the influence. Judge set your bond amount of $1,000. Bond's going to stay as set. Have a great day, sir.
Is there any way I could get that reduced? Possibly?
Now, without talking to the judge to sign the warrant, law does not provide that opportunity for me. Good morning, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Morning, Ellie Anthony Castillo Jr.
Mr. Castillos, you're here in case 2021 CT 4104AO for arraignment or charge of driving under the charge driving while license suspended as a subsequent offender. This first degree misdemeanor is punishable up to 1 year in the county jail and $1,000 fine. Is there an offer to be discussed with Mr. Castillo?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer conveyed was an adjudication credit time served.
I believe,
He's represented by the public defender's office, so.
that's what I thought. I seen a note stating that he pled. I got an email this
Did you
morning.
plead this morning in another courtroom? On this case?
No.
Is it a separate case? What was the case, and you know who your judge was? Also, it's a felony case.
Yeah,
All right,
it was,
so it's a different case. He played on a different case.
He has McGinnis and misdemeanor for this case.
All right.
not even sure who was my PD for this one.
No, he may have another, he had a separate felony case in front of Judge LeBlanc that he resolved this morning. So now we're trying to deal with the misdemeanor case that he also picked up that was a felony charge, now it's a misdemeanor charge. The question is whether he wants to accept the adjudication of guilt, credit time served in this case.
Your Honor, he's gonna accept the state's offer of an adjudication of guilt, credit time served, and enter a plea of no contest.
Come on, sir, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're gonna give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God? Sir, you're here in case 2021 CT 4104AO. On charge of driving while license suspended as a subsequent offender. Ms. George, your attorney has informed me that you want to enter a plea of no contest. Is that correct? Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to waive all the rights outlined on the plea form that you have this morning?
Yes, Your Honor.
You understand all the rights that you went over with Judge LeBlanc this morning as well still apply? Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication? Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness? Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand by entering this plea if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation? Do you understand a conviction in this case at a later date can be used to enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do the parties stipulate to a factual basis?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
The court accept that factual basis stipulation, and I'll accept your plea of no contest, finds your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge, give you credit for the 46 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 46 days credit time served. The court cost of prosecution in this case of $306. There's a $50 public defender application fee and a $50 public defender lien in this case. All those costs will be payable directly to the clerk within 3 years of today's date. You got 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment sentence in writing. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, have a great day, sir. All right, have a great day. All right, Mr. Howard.
Howard is medical.
2021 CT 937AW. Mr. Howard is represented by the Public Defender's Office. You want to waive his arraignment?
I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
7 for Division 62.
52, pre-trial conference is July 19th, 9 a.m., courtroom 98.
Marino.
Ortiz, medical.
That's case 2021 CT 4066AO. Is also represented by the Public Defender's Office.
I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
7 for Division 85.
Division 85, pre-trial conference is July 12th, 9 a.m., courtroom 4A.
I have.
Anthony Barrett,
Yes, sir.
medical.
That's case 2021 MO 583AO, represented by the Public Defender's Office.
I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
Will settle for Division 83.
83, pre-trial conference, July 12, 9 a.m. 6C.
At the Cox Medical.
2020 MM32AA. She's represented by the Public Defender's Office.
I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
We'll set her for Division 81.
Division 81, pre-trial conference, July 16, 9 a.m. courtroom 4E.
Ryan Delaney, Medical.
That's case 2021 MM3429 AO. Represented by the Public Defender's Office as well.
I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty.
Set for Division 81.
Division 81, pre-trial conference, July 16, 9 a.m. courtroom 4E.
Nelson Figueroa.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir. You're here in case 2021 MM2922 AO for arraignment on 2 charges. The first one is criminal mischief, and the second charge is resisting officer without violence. The first charge is punishable, it's a second-degree misdemeanor, punishable to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. And the second charge is a first-degree misdemeanor, punishable by 1 year in the county jail and a $1,000 fine. Do you understand that? And Ms. George, was there an offer, were we able to resolve this case today or no?
No offer, Your Honor. We'll enter a plea of not guilty.
All right, we're selling for Division 83.
Division 83, pre-trial conference is July 12, 9 a.m. courtroom 6E.
Well, all right, have a great day, sir. Tell me, Hunter,
He's medical, Your Honor.
2021 MM3338 AO, represented by the Public Defender's Office. You want to waive his arraignment?
I'll waive and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
We'll set it for Division 84.
July 12, 9 a.m. courtroom 4E.
And the last case I had was Ramirez.
Medical, Your Honor.
That's case 2021 MM3957 AO.
I'll waive the appearance and enter a plea of not guilty, Your Honor.
All right, we'll set it for Division 84.
Pre-trial conference, July 12, 9 a.m. courtroom 4E.
All right, so question, you said you guys need an hour still, or? You guys need a break?
Since I didn't know that we were gonna do a rocket docket, I didn't give her offers for the misdemeanor.
I don't know if we can ever get a door open. There we go. I had Godfrey as my first person, unless you want to do somebody else.
Taylor May on behalf of the Office of the State Attorney.
Letitia George on behalf of the Office of the Public Defender.
Davis lost the eyelash. I said, you lost the eyelash, apparently. All right, good morning, good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Janelle Antoine Godfrey.
Mr. Godfrey, you're here this afternoon in 2 matters. The first one is 2021 MM4053 AO on charge of criminal mischief. I did review that charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Want to set your bond, that case amount of $500. Condition of your bond, you're not allowed to return to the scene of the location. They may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from that case. You also may not possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be determined with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You're also here in 2018 CF 11544 AO on a failure to appear warrant. The judge signing that failure to appear warrant set your bond at $0. Your bonds remain at $0 so you can get in front of that judge for a bond hearing. I'm going to appoint a public defender in all your cases if you're not already appointed. You have a great afternoon, sir.
Any action on a bond?
You're on bond in the case 2021 MM 3374AO for another criminal mischief. The court's going to revoke that bond, set a new bond at $0. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Morris L. Williams Jr.
Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 6980AO on charge of pay theft with 2 prior theft convictions. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. State your bond in this case amount of $1,000. Condition your bond. Cannot have any contact with any victims or witnesses. No return to the scene of the location. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Have a great day, sir.
No, my court date gonna be, sir.
Say again?
No, my next court date gonna be.
We have to wait for the state to file your information or file no information. We have to wait for the state to take action first. We'll get a court date after that. All right, have a great day, sir. Spanish now?
This is Dalia Romero, Spanish interpreter. On the line already sworn in today.
Good afternoon, Mr. Romero. This is Judge Bain calling from the BRC. I need your assistance with one defendant with the headsets on. Can you see if you can make a connection?
Yes, Your Honor. One moment. He can hear the interpreter, Your Honor.
All right. Good afternoon, sir. You're here in case, can you tell me your name, please?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The interpreter cannot understand him.
Disculpe. Carlos Manuel Nieves Cruz.
Are you Mr. Carlos Cruz Nieves?
Carlos Manuel Nieves Cruz.
Carlos Cruz Nieve?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. You're here in case 2021 MM 4060AO. Here for a charge of resisting officer without violence. I reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. Gonna stay your bond in the case in amount of $500. Ms. Davis, was he already gonna be seen on this VOP case?
They have not yet served it on him.
The warrant?
Oh, it's a hold. It's a hold.
Okay. All right, sir, you're a violent felon and offender of special concern. You're gonna be, it's gonna be a 5-day hold on you, before you probably release. We get a time for Lee County to file a violation of probation against you. I want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, her. Have a great day, sir.
And Your Honor, is that the only case for the interpreter?
No, ma'am, I think I got one more.
No problem.
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Ángel José Lozada Cardona.
Anthony Sosa Cardona.
Are you Angel Lozada Cardona?
Yes. Sí.
Yes.
All right, sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 6970AO on charges of carrying concealed firearm, resisting officer without violence, possession of cannabis of less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. I did review the charging affidavit against you, did find probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to say your bonds in this case amount $2,500 as account 1, $100 as account 2, $100 as account 3, and $100 as account 4. Condition of your bond is you now not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're also not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be determined to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in your case, sir. You have a great day. All right, thank you, Madam Interpreter.
You're welcome, Your Honor. Have a great day.
You too. So you gonna take any action on this case before I get rolling here?
This is Miss Caldwell.
All right, ma'am, can you tell me your name?
Jenna Caldwell?
It's enhanceable, Your Honor, so no.
I have Cunningham as my first. Well, I guess we'll go Caldwell first, all right. I was thinking about Cunningham. All right, Ms. Caldwell, you're here in case 2021 MM4057AO on charge of petty theft. I did review the charging affidavit. In this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Say you use it as an offer?
No, Your Honor, it's enhanceable.
All right. All right, ma'am, I'm going to set your bond in this case an amount of $1,000, condition of your bond that you did not return to the scene of the location, you may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, ma'am?
Yes,
You have a great day.
Hello.
Can you tell me your name, ma'am?
Kiara Cunningham?
All right, this is the case I was thinking about.
Yes, Your Honor, given her own, I was gonna ask that you just set a bond, given her own admissions as she moved things along around the vehicle.
Okay. All right, ma'am, you're here in case 2021 MM238AA on charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. I reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest.
I admitted to having.
Don't talk,
Oh, hold on.
talk about the facts.
Ms. Davis, is community contacts is the issue?
She did provide an emergency contact, but she only wanted us to contact him in regards to emergencies only. And I guess she stated she's on and off at her address, so they put her as unstably housed.
All right, ma'am, where do you live? Where do you plan to live once you're released from here?
Well, I was staying with my boyfriend,
All right,
Dean,
are you able to go back and live with him?
yes.
Well, actually, probably not, because do you have anywhere else you can live besides Dean's house?
Well, it wasn't a domestic.
No, I'm just saying that, but I'm not sure if Dean's a possible co-defendant in this case. So one of my conditions was to issue no contact with any victims or any witnesses or co-defendants as a condition of your pretrial release. But is there somewhere else you can stay other than Dean's house?
No,
No?
not that I know of right now.
Right.
Like, I wasn't informed of that.
All right, man, I'm gonna set your bond in this case an amount of $250, condition your bond is you're not allowed to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription, not having any contact with any victims any witnesses or co-defendants from this case. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this matter. You have a great day, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Diaz Lopez.
Mr. Diaz-Lopez, you're here in case 2021 MM4052AO on charge of petty theft. They reviewed the charging affidavit in that case, did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to set your bond in that case amount of $500. Condition of your bond is not allowed to return to the scene of the location. You may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses in that case. You're out on release in two matters, the first one being 2021 CF4246AO, and the next one being 2021 CF3938AO. In both those cases, the court found a probable cause that you committed a new law offense while being out on bond. It's going to revoke your release in those cases or bonds. I'm going to set new bonds at $0 in both of those cases. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you in your new case and in your old cases if you're not already appointed. You have a great day, sir. sorry, I didn't ask the state.
Your Honor, I did have an offer. It was enhanceable.
Yeah, okay. All right, ma'am, can you tell me your name?
Corinne Gazaway.
Ms. Gazaway, you're here in case 2021 MM1934AO on a failure to appear warrant for a charge of petty theft. State, was there an offer in this case?
Yes, Your Honor. The offer that was conveyed was an adjudication, credit time served, and no return to the Walmart.
All right. Ms. Gazaway, is she represented by the public defender's office in this case, or we never got that far?
I don't think she was yet, Your
Okay.
Honor.
Ms. Gazaway, do you want to accept the state's offer of an adjudication of guilt to resolve your case today?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's credit time served. How many days does she have, Ms. Davis?
Just 2 days.
2 days in Orange County Jail. All right, man, do you understand that a plea in this case, if you commit the same offense at a later date, can enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony?
Yes, sir.
All right, can you raise your right hand and be sworn in? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're going to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir.
All right, put your hand down. Sir, ma'am, sorry. Ma'am, you are here in case 2021 MM1934AO on charge of petty theft. That's a second-degree misdemeanor. It's punishable up to 60 days in the county jail and a $500 fine. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Do you want to enter a plea of guilty or no contest to resolve your case today?
No contest, sir.
Do you understand by entering a plea of no contest, you're going to be waiving your rights, all that are listed on that plea form?
Yes, sir.
Do you understand that one of those rights is that you're going to give up the right to have a trial in this case?
Yes, sir.
Just saying, waive your right to present evidence and have the evidence and challenge the evidence against you.
Yes, sir.
All right, and you also understand that this charge at a later date can be used to enhance your sentencing up to a third-degree felony?
Yes, sir.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication?
No, sir.
Have you now or in the past been diagnosed with a mental health illness?
Yes, sir.
What was that mental health illness?
Depression?
Are you suffering from any of the symptoms of your mental health illness right now?
No. No, sir.
Has anybody forced, threatened, or coerced you to enter this plea?
No, sir.
Do you understand by entering this plea, if you're not a United States citizen, it could subject you to deportation?
Yes, sir.
I did have an opportunity while I was in my chambers to review your charging affidavit in this case, and I did find a factual basis contained therein. I want to accept your plea of no contest in this case, finds your plea is freely and voluntarily entered. We'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge. We'll give you credit for the 2 days that you spent in Orange County Jail with 2 days credit time served. The court costs and cost of prosecution in this case are $273.
Okay.
I'll give you 1 year from today's date to pay that money directly to the clerk in full. You have 30 days from today's date to appeal your judgment and sentence in writing. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a great day, ma'am. All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Carla Cristina Barrios Ramos.
Ms. Barrios Ramos, you are here in 3 matters. The first one is 2021 CT 531AO on charge of leaving the scene of an accident and property damage. The next one is 2021 CF 6962AO on charge of driving while license suspended as a habitual traffic offender. And in case 2021 CF 7002AO, you're here on charges of destruction of evidence or tampering with physical evidence, possession of cocaine, and possession of drug paraphernalia. One second. I think we'll find probable cause for attempts, correct, State?
Yes, Your Honor. That was my understanding as well.
I found probable cause for all your charges except in 2021 CF 7002AO, found a charge of attempted tampering with physical evidence. It's the same statute, just gotta add 7704. Let's say 7704 is the attempt part of it. All right. All right, ma'am, as the 2021 CT 531AA, I'm going to set your bond in that case about $500. Condition of your bond that you're not allowed to operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. If you have no contact with any victims or witnesses in that case. In 2021 CF 6962AL, going to stay your bond amount of $2,500 as to that case. Not allowed to operate a motor vehicle with a valid driver's license. As to 2021 CF 7002AL, we're going to stay your bond. We'll set your bond amount of $1,000 as to count one, $150 as to count two, and $100 as to count three. Condition of that bond: you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense as to that charge. Want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am.
Your Honor.
All right.
This is all, it's understanding.
1 second. I have affidavits for all of the cases. Is that wrong? Oh, that's fine. I still addressed the case. So. Yeah, I found attempt. Does it count one? I thought I had, well, then scratch that then. It was already addressed. I don't know. I thought I had affidavits for all of them. Okay. Let's scratch those orders as to those other two cases. So I don't interfere with anybody else's orders. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jarvis Antonio Burton, sir.
Mr. Burton, you are here in case 2021 CF 7003AO on charges of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, possession of heroin, intent to sell and deliver, possession of heroin, intent to sell and deliver, resisting officer without violence, possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell and deliver, possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell and deliver, and possession of a weapon or firearm by a convicted felon. I reviewed the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest as to those charges.
Your Honor, I was going to argue against the intent to sell. The only thing that was found were the drugs. It didn't mention any money, it didn't mention any scales, it didn't mention anything in the arrest affidavit that would indicate the drugs were being used for, to sell.
Well, I don't know if these are gross or net weights, but the weights of the drugs will concern me as to larger amount than personal use. 17 like pieces of crack cocaine, which is not really the real problem. It's the 11.7 grams of methamphetamine and what they think is fentanyl or heroin, the 1.4 grams of fentanyl, which usually sell 0.10 is a $10. It's a $10 bag of heroin at that point.
And
That's a decent amount of.
My only argument would be that the amount alone is not sufficient.
Your Honor, I believe the officer's intent was trafficking in controlled substances.
Okay.
Given his arrest affidavit, like the last large paragraph on the second page, placed him under arrest for 1 count of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, 4 counts of trafficking, and 1 count of resisting without.
Yeah, the weights don't add up to trafficking. That's the, but I would. Like I said,
It's meth
I
14.
don't know if it's a net weight of drugs, but those are the net weights. That's more than what you usually see on a, day-to-day kind of usage kind of thing.
In conjunction with a firearm and fleeing.
Yep. All right. Let's start to this as the count one. I'm gonna set your bond in that case in amount of $15,000. As the count two, gonna set your bond amount of $15,000. I'm gonna ROR you as the count three. Count four, gonna set your bond in the amount of $100. Count five, we're gonna set your bond in the amount of $15,000. Count six, gonna ROR you as to that count. Count seven, I'm gonna set your bond in the amount of $4,000. Condition your bond that you're not allowed to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. That you are not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case, sir. You have a great day. Oh, my mask broke. Part of the mask came off here. You living life, man. All right. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Hassan Conception.
Mr. Concepcion, you are here in 2021 CF 6978AO on charge of attempted burglary of a dwelling and criminal mischief. I reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in count 1 in the amount of $3,500, count 2 in the amount of $100. Condition of your bond that you're not allowed to return to the scene of the location, may not have any contacts with any victims or witnesses from this case. You're also not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. State Reserve offer to resolve this 2020 MM 5189 resisting case.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I overlooked it. 1 second. It would be an adjudication, credit time served, Your Honor.
Mr. Concepcion, do you want to resolve your case, the 2020 misdemeanor case? Is that represented by the public defender's office?
He is.
Ms. George, you want to talk to him about adjudication of guilt, credit time, sir?
I believe it's actually a private defense attorney,
I'm sorry.
William Brown.
He's not our client.
Oh, Mr. Brown? All right. All right, sir, in that case, in 2020 MM 5189AO, the court's going to revoke that bond. You're going to set a new bond amount of $1,500. And have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jamal Dean.
Mr. Dean, you're here in case 2021 CF 6995AO on charge of possession of amphetamines. The court did review the charging affidavit, did find probable cause for your arrest. All right, sir, I want to place you on pretrial release in this case. Condition of pretrial release that you're not allowed to possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Now, you'll be subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense. I want to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, for the record, he is out on, I don't know if it's bond or PTR, but he does have an open case.
Where? I was saying, what was the case? I don't have it up here.
I have 20 CT 1076. It's an expired driver's license. He's represented by Miss Maddie.
1076.
1076. I think it's AE.
Is that notice of appear or arrest?
I'm not sure. I just know the sentencing is set.
All right, I'm not gonna take any action on that case. 2020 CT 1076AE. We don't stay out of trouble, my man.
Sir.
All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Hello, sir. My name is Terry Dickerson.
Ms. Dickerson, you're here in case 2021 CF 6981AO on charge of petty theft with 2 prior theft convictions, resisting a merchant and recovery of their merchandise, battery, possession of methamphetamine, and resisting officer without violence. They review your charging affidavit in your case. They find probable cause for your arrest. Ms. George, like you want to tell me something?
No, it looks like she had a question for you, but I wanted to make sure she doesn't speak on the record. Can I?
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Your Honor, I would ask that you consider not revoking her out on bond, is the question.
Well, for what reason?
It looks like her, last failure to appear was in 2018, so I just ask that you take that into consideration, Your Honor.
Well, I see 6 prior felonies, 7 prior fails, 10 prior misdemeanors, 7 prior fails to appear. The last one being at least listed in 2018. She's out on bond for a charge that she was RR'd on April 30th for the same charge that she's been arrested for.
I just wanted to relay the message to the court. Your Honor.
Yeah. All right, Ms. Dickerson, you're here. I'm going to stay your bond in count 1 in the amount of $1,000. Count 2, going to stay your bond amount of $100. Count 3, $100. Count 4, $1,000. Count 5, $100. Condition of your bond is you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not return to the scene of the location. You may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from that case. You're out on bond in case 2021 CF 3176 AO. In that case, of course, going to revoke that bond. Going to set, or at least you're out on RR, I apologize. Going to revoke that RR. Going to set a new bond in that case, amount of $10,000. Condition of your bond that you did not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. Have a great day, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
James Felix.
Mr. Felix, you're here in case 2021 CF 6994 AO on charge of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, possession of cannabis of more than 20 grams with a weapon, possession of cannabis with intent to sell and deliver, and carrying a concealed firearm. I did review the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Let's say your bond account 1 amount of $4,000, count 2, $1,000, count 3, $150, count 4, $150. Condition of your bond that you not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You may not also possess any weapons or firearms. The weapons or firearms you have need to be determined to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. State, are you asking me to take any action on this Seminole County violation of probation case as this defendant is a violent felony offender of special concern?
They already took action.
You already did?
Yeah.
Is a warrant for his arrest already?
They did an add-on, on view
When?
at,
Am I seeing him like
well, they'll be,
tomorrow?
they scheduled it for tomorrow.
Got to see him now. I'm asking,
It's up to the clerks here.
Madam Clerk,
Yeah, because don't y'all need an order?
you want to make me an order for the 2017 CF 3985 AO case from Seminole County? His charges for violation of probation, burglary of an occupied dwelling, fleeing and attempt to elude law enforcement, battery on a law enforcement officer.
Your Honor, generally, if you already take action, they still bring him back tomorrow, even if you ask for him not to be brought tomorrow. So I just ask that he be seen tomorrow when the clerk has the appropriate paperwork.
Why are we doing this? This seems to be another procedural nonsense that I'm serious. Like everybody yelled for months and months that COVID this, removing people all about the jail, and I'm actually doing something to try to limit somebody's movement into jail, and we're just like, so as my thoughts are can we do it or can we not? All right. So in Seminole County case, Jerry, like it seems like they already filed an on-view violation of your probation in the case. I do find the same probable cause for that determination. I'm going to set your bond at $0 in that case. You're a violent felony offender of special concern, so you're not going to be entitled to release on your violation of probation case until you get over to Seminole County and have a violation of probation hearing. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in that case as well while you're here in my custody. You have a great day, sir.
So I can't release on about it,
Absolutely not.
sir.
Have a great day, sir. Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Jessica Jackson.
Ms. Jackson, you are here this afternoon. 1 second. In case 2021 CF 65280 on charge of fleeing to elude law enforcement officer. Judge signed your warrant in your case to find probable cause for your arrest. 1 second. We're also here in case 2021 CF 6992AO on charge of possession of a controlled substance, possession of cannabis, and resisting officer without violence. And you're fleeing to elude case 2021 CF 652880. The court is going to set your bond in that matter, the amount of $5,000, condition your bond that you not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Yes, sir.
As a 2021 CF 6992AO, I did find probable cause for your arrest. We're going to set your bond, stay your bond in count 1, amount of $1,000, count 2, 100, count 3, 100. Condition of that bond, should not possess or consume any drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. You're subject to random drug and alcohol testing at your expense, and want to appoint a public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Shannon Gerain Jones.
Mr. Jones, you're here in case 2021 CF 6972AO on charge of fleeing and attempt to elude law enforcement officer. You're also here in case 2021 CT 4257AO on charge of reckless driving. And you're also here in 2021 CT 4258AO on a charge of leaving a scene of an accident with property damage. Did review the charging affidavits, did find probable cause for your arrest. As the 2021 CF 6972AO, court is going to set your bond in that case amount of $5,000 count. And in 2021 CF 4275AO, going to set your bond amount of $500. As 2021 CF 4258AO, the court is going to set your bond in that case amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond should not operate a motor vehicle, all your bonds that should not operate a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. You also have not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses from those cases. We want to appoint a public defender to represent you in all your cases. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, all three of his cases were CF cases?
Nope, there was 1 CF case and 2 CT cases. That's what
Okay,
I had.
all right, thank you. Just making sure.
No, all right. Everybody else had the same thing? Yeah, 1 felony, 2 misdemeanors. Yep.
Could I say one thing?
So I want to talk to Ms. George because everything you asked me is on the record.
So the felonies were 5,000, the CT was 500?
500 and then 5,000 on the other.
Okay.
The others on traffic case. So leaving the scene, yeah, correct. Yeah. That does look like Mr. Loge. All right, this case 2020 CF 12598AO. Mr. Lowe, I think he's already represented by the public defender's office. Do you want to waive his appearance?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll waive the appearance.
All right, he's here for a failure to appear warrant. His bond is none, so we can get on to his next court date when it's available. All right. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Armatha McIntyre.
I can't hear you.
Armatha McIntyre.
Ms. McIntyre, you're here in case 2021 CF 6987AO for two charges. The first one is armed burglary of a conveyance with a firearm. Count two is aggravated assault with a firearm. I reviewed the charging affidavit. We found probable cause for your arrest. Say, what are you asking me to do as the armed burglary charge in count one?
Your Honor, given the armed burglary charge is a punishable by life offense, state is asking that you hold her no bond pending an Arthur hearing.
Your Honor, I would ask that you, in this particular case, given the fact that she has no criminal history, consider setting a bond amount in this case. Looks like she's been honorably discharged from the military, no criminal history on her record. So I would just ask that you take that into consideration.
All right, well, first questions first, are you asking me that I find proof evident presumption great, or are you reserving your right to have an Arthur
I'm
hearing?
reserving my right, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. McIntyre, in count one, of course, gonna hold you at no bond in that case. Count two, gonna set your bond in amount of $10,000. Condition of your bonds that you're not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. Not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Say you're asking for any other conditions?
Not this time, Your Honor.
One, already appointed public defender to represent you in this case, ma'am. I need to talk to Ms. George. Everything you asked me is on the record.
Sir, I have a premature baby at home and a sick mom. Is there any way I can please get a bond? Please, sir.
Based on the allegations that I read in that affidavit, I'm surprised you're only charged with what you were charged with. So no, ma'am. Have a great day, ma'am.
When is my next court date?
Well, we get you in front of, the Arthur hearing that we refer to is a bond hearing where the state's gonna present evidence, your attorney's gonna present some evidence. And before we can get that done, you need your attorney, call the number on the green sheet of paper, get your bond hearing filed in front of the division judge so you can talk about release conditions if that or if any are possible for you.
Sir, please. What am I gonna do with my kids?
I don't know, ma'am. You're facing a charge that you can go to prison for life for. So
But what I'm,
I don't, if you need somebody to do I need to call DCF? Do I need to,
I don't want my kids in no system.
I don't understand, is there anybody to help your children other than you right now?
my mom, but we're all up here. I'm not even from here. Sir, I do nursing and everything.
Yeah. I would say like this. One of the charges you're facing is this. Because one of the charges that, I believe the state probably is going to file on you, something called aggravated battery with a firearm and with a 1020 life enhancement. So one of those charges you possibly be facing at a point, not only is going to be punishable by life, also is going to come with a 10-year minimum mandatory sentence. So based on the charges that you're facing, no, ma'am, I'm not releasing you from this jail right now. So have a great day, please. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
How you doing, sir? My name is Travis Olden, Olden.
Mr. Olden, you're here in case 2021 CF 4365AO on charge of carrying concealed firearm. Did review the charging affidavit in this case. Did find there was a warrant for your arrest in this case. Did find probable cause. The judge already found probable cause for your arrest. I'm going to release you on pretrial release in this case. So on release you on pretrial release, you don't have to post a bond. But you're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. You understand?
I couldn't hear anything you said.
I think the door, because the door.
All right, hold on. We'll close it up. Actually, gonna close it. All right. You're arrested in case 2021 CF 4365AO. Judge signed your warrant in your case, finding probable cause for your arrest. I want to release you in this case on what they call pretrial release supervision. But you're not allowed to possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be turned over to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, ma'am. Can you tell me your name?
Tonda Phillips.
Ms. Phillips, you're here in case 2021 CF 6984AO on charge of criminal mischief and shooting into an occupied dwelling structure or vehicle. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest.
It was throwing a missile, but
See?
it's all lies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I see it. I see it updated. All right. Trying to remember what the weapon was.
Your Honor, it was a
Camera.
window breaker,
Yeah,
and according to the statute, it's a missile or
Yep,
hurls or projects a stone or other hard substance that produces death or great bodily harm. It can be unoccupied.
yeah, I guess the question is it firing? I think that's the question I had.
Your Honor,
Can you shoot or throw it? It was a shot or thrown by the, I guess it's
The statute reads, wantonly or maliciously shoots at, within or into or throws any missile or hurls or projects a stone or other hard substance. My argument is that she hurled or projected a other hard substance, being that window breaker, that would otherwise potentially could produce great bodily harm or death, given the hardness of the window breaker.
all right. All right, man, I'm going to file probable cause as your arrest. I'm going to set your bond account one amount of $1,000. I'm going to stay your bond account two an amount of $5,000. Condition of your bond, not allowed to have any contact with any victims or witnesses, not allowed to return to the scene of the location. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be returned to law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. Going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great day, ma'am.
thank you.
How you doing?
Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Jordan Joseph Sansone.
Mr. Sansone, you're here in case 2021 CF 6991AO on charge of battery on law enforcement officer, robbery by sudden snatching, and resisting officer without violence. You did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to stay your bonds as set in this case. The amount of $5,000, $2,000, and $1,000. Condition of your bond that you may not have any contact with any victims or witnesses from this case. You may not return to the scene of the location. May not, sorry, on one point, this affidavit I have, you want me to appoint a public defender to represent you?
Yes, public defender.
You make $830 a week?
Yeah, roofing.
I have my calculator out. It's $830 a week.
Yeah, work like 45 hours, dude, and I'm stuck in Florida. I need to get out of here.
Yeah, if it makes 43, yeah, it makes too much money. All right, sir, you don't qualify for services of the public defender. You make too much money, so you have to hire your own attorney. All right, have a great day, sir.
Your Honor, just so you know, you ordered a no return to the airport. I do believe he intends to fly back to New York.
Oh, yeah, he lives out of state, Your Honor.
That's right. All right, sir, you can return to the airport, but you need to have a valid ticket. So just go, get on your plane, go home, if you're going home.
You let me go home?
Yeah, you can go home, but when you go to the airport, you need to have a ticket before you get there. Get on the plane and go home. Don't do anything else.
Are you ROR?
No, you're from out of state, sir. I'm not gonna ROR you, and not with your out of state criminal history.
So you're letting me leave?
Yeah, you can bond out. You can go back to New York. But I order that you don't return to the scene of location, so I'm gonna scratch that. We'll take that off of your conditions. But when you get to the airport, you need to have a valid ticket. That is a condition. So you can go back to the airport with a valid ticket. That's it.
Okay, that's $8,000, right?
I think it's.
Yeah, 5,
Yes.
2,
Yep, 8,000, yes. All right, have a great day.
You too, mama.
Correct. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name? Sir, you're here in case 2021 CF 6986AO on charge of possession of MDMA or ecstasy and possession of cocaine. They reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond account 1 in the amount of $1,000, count 2, 100. Condition of your bond that you're not possessing or consuming drugs or alcohol without a valid prescription. I'm going to appoint a public defender to represent you. You have a great day, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Can you tell me your name?
Bryant Thomas.
Mr. Thomas, you're here in case 2021 CF 6975AO on charge of burglary of a conveyance. You reviewed the charging affidavit in this case, did find probable cause for your arrest. Going to set your bond in this case in the amount of $3,500. Condition of your bond, no contact with victims or witnesses, no return to the scene of the location. May not possess any weapons or firearms. Any weapons or firearms you have need to be determined with law enforcement within 24 hours of your release. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you in this case. You have a great afternoon, sir. We're going to appoint a public defender to represent Mr. Demola. He has an out-of-county warrant from Lake County.
I'll waive the appearance, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Demola's here on a 2021 CF 61758 case from Lake County. We're going to state his out-of-county warrant bond at $0 and get him on to Lake County as soon as we can.